Mickey Rooney was an entertainer like no other. He may not have been the tall, dark and handsome Hollywood leading man that Clark Gable and Cary Grant were, but he had something more valuable: immense talent and versatility. Born in Brooklyn, New York on September 23, 1920, Mickey had a career that spanned over 90 years, starting from the silent film era and lasting until the 21st century. As a child, Mickey was already a performer, participating in vaudeville shows. At the age of 6, he landed his first film role in the 1926 silent comedy short called Not to Be Trusted, where he played the nephew. He went by the name of Mickey McBand then, but later changed it to Mickey McGuire until 1934 when he was finally billed as Mickey Rooney. Mickey's career took off, and he appeared in countless stage productions and motion pictures. In 1939, at the young age of 19, he was nominated for an Oscar for his lead role in Babes in Arms, alongside Judy Garland. He also starred in National Velvet in 1944, opposite Elizabeth Taylor, and he achieved stardom on the silver screen with the popular Andy Hardy movies he made with Garland in the late 1930s and into the 1940s. For many years, Mickey Rooney was one of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's most celebrated actors. Mickey was truly a one-of-a-kind performer who left a lasting legacy in Hollywood. He may not have been tall, dark and handsome, but he had a heart of gold and a talent that will never be forgotten. Mickey Rooney was a man of resilience and ambition. Despite his short stature preventing him from playing romantic leading roles, he persevered in the entertainment industry and took on supporting roles. As television became a new medium, he found even more opportunities to showcase his talents. Rooney was known primarily as a movie and stage actor, but he also left his mark on television through guest roles and television movies. Although his own television shows were not long-lasting, he starred in The Mickey Rooney Show, Hey, Mulligan from 1954 to 1955. In the show, he played Mickey Mulligan, a young Irish-American actor who dreamed of becoming a serious dramatic actor and used his job as a page at a television studio in Hollywood as a stepping stone. Mulligan received support from his father, a Los Angeles officer, and girlfriend, a studio secretary, as he attended drama school at night and worked towards his goal. His mother was a former burlesque star who met her husband, Mulligan's father, when he arrested her. Despite the obstacles and challenges he faced, Mickey Rooney's tenacity and determination allowed him to make a name for himself in the entertainment world. Mickey Rooney's television series, The Mickey Rooney Show, Hey, Mulligan, had a strong supporting cast. Joey Foreman played Freddie Devlin, Mickey's best friend and colleague, and Alan Mowbray portrayed his drama coach, Mr. Swift. John Hubbard was also a part of the cast, playing the role of Charles Brown, Mickey's boss. The show was created by Blake Edwards, a well-known director, producer, and screenwriter. Despite a talented cast and crew, The Mickey Rooney Show only lasted for one season, with only 33 episodes being broadcast. Rooney also made several appearances on The Dick Powell Show between 1961 and 1963. He played different characters in each of the 4 episodes he appeared in. In 1963, he starred in one of his most memorable television roles, in an episode of The Twilight Zone, titled The Last Night of a Jockey. This particular episode was a favorite among fans and it showcases Rooney's acting versatility. Grady, a former championship jockey, found himself banned from riding due to allegations of race-fixing and drugging horses. Despite declaring his innocence and pursuing an appeal with the Racing Commission, his prospects were bleak. However, one day, Grady was unexpectedly granted his greatest wish. In Last Night of a Jockey, Mickey Rooney took on the challenging role of Grady, delivering a remarkable one-man performance. As a fan of horse racing, Mickey was well suited for the part and his extensive experience in horse-related movies and television shows shone through in his portrayal of the troubled jockey. From 1964 to 1965, Mickey Rooney starred in a television comedy show named Mickey that aired on NBC. Unfortunately, the show was short-lived and only 17 episodes were produced. Mickey played the role of Mickey Grady, a Coast Guard recruiter who lived in landlocked Omaha, Nebraska and yearned for a life at sea. He then moved his family to Newport Harbor, California after inheriting the Marina Palms, a beachfront hotel there. Emmalini Henry was cast as Mickey's wife, Nora, who was the mother of their 2 children. Tim Rooney, Mickey's real-life son, played their eldest son, Timmy Grady, who was 16 years old. Brian Nash portrayed the younger son, Buddy Grady, who was 8 years old. Sammy Tong played the role of the hotel manager, Sammy Ling. Tim Rooney, who was born in Birmingham, Alabama on January 4, 1947, passed away on September 23, 2006 at the age of 59. He suffered from a muscle disease known as dermatomyositis. His mother, Betty Jane Baker, was a singer and was married to Mickey Rooney from 1944 to 1949. She passed away in 2002 at the age of 74. Tim had a younger brother, Mickey Rooney Jr., who was born on January 3, 1945. Mickey Jr. was a former actor and musician and is now a Christian evangelist with a ministry in Hemet, California. Mickey Rooney made guest appearances on popular television shows in the 1960s. In 1964, he appeared on Rawhide and Burke's Law. 2 years later, he had roles in The Fugitive and the first episode of The Jean Arthur Show, entitled Lament of a Horseplayer. In this episode, he portrayed Eddie Julian, an operator with a gambling problem who was accused of murder. Attorney Patricia Marshall, played by Jean Arthur, acted as his lawyer. In 1966, Rooney made a guest appearance on The Lucy Show alongside Lucille Ball. The episode was titled Lucy Meets Mickey Rooney and saw Mickey trying to obtain a bank loan to purchase an acting school. Lucy and her boss, banker Theodore J. Mooney, ended up as his students and they performed a takeoff on silent movie comedies. During the 1970s, Mickey's television appearances became less frequent, and his career seemed to be stagnating. In 1971, he had a guest role in the Burt Reynolds detective series Dan August. He played Kenny Amelie in an episode titled The Manufactured Man. The cast for this episode included big names like Harrison Ford, David Soul, Billy D. Williams, Gary Busey, and Norman Fell. In the 1970s, Mickey made a return to television with a guest appearance on Rod Serling's Night Gallery. He portrayed the character of August Kolodny, a notorious mobster seeking refuge from other criminals. Kolodny visits a man named Dr. Glendon, played by Raymond Massey, who offers him a safe haven for a price. Mickey's career experienced a resurgence in the 1980s, starting with his award-winning performance in the television movie Bill. The movie was based on the real-life story of William Bill Sachter, a man with mental disabilities who spent 44 years in a state school. Mickey's portrayal of Bill earned him both an Emmy Award and a Golden Globe. In 1982, Mickey starred in another short-lived television series called One of the Boys. He played Oliver Nugent, a lively senior citizen who moves in with his grandson, Adam Shields, a student at Sheffield College in New Jersey. The cast also included Nathan Lane as Adam's roommate, Jonathan Burns, and Meg Ryan as Adam's girlfriend, Jane. In 1988, Mickey Rooney appeared in an episode of the popular television show The Golden Girls. He played Sophia's boyfriend, Rocco, who tries to impress her by pretending to be a retired gangster. This episode aired on February 27, 1988 and was entitled Larceny and Old Lace. From 1990 to 1993, Mickey starred in a show called The Adventures of the Black Stallion which was broadcasted on the Family Channel. This show had a horse-themed storyline, which was fitting for Mickey as he had previously portrayed Daly in the 1979 film The Black Stallion. Throughout the 1990s, Mickey continued to work in the entertainment industry. In 1998, he made guest appearances on several television series including ER, where he played Dr. George Bickle in an episode titled Exodus, and on Mike Hammer, Private Eye, in the episode Lucky in Love. Unfortunately, Mickey led a tumultuous personal life and was married 8 times. In his later years, he suffered from elder abuse and was embroiled in a family feud between his estranged wife and stepsons. He was separated from his wife of 35 years, Jan Chamberlain Rooney, at the time of his death. Jan, a former nightclub singer, found out about his passing through the media. At the time of his passing, Mickey Rooney had an estate worth only $18,000 that was left to his stepson and caretaker, Mark Rooney. This was surprising as he had disinherited his wife and 8 surviving children. The cause of this depletion in wealth was due to financial mismanagement by another of his stepsons and elder abuse. Mark and Chris Aber, both sons of Jan by her previous marriage to Lynn Aber, had different last names but were still brothers. Despite his personal problems, Mickey Rooney was a devoted entertainer who never stopped working. In February of the same year he passed, 93-year-old Mickey was in Vancouver to continue shooting for Night at the Museum 3. Despite being pushed in a wheelchair, he was cheerful and eager to reprise his role as Gus, one of the Night security guards at the museum. Mickey Rooney left a lasting legacy through his numerous films and television shows, and will always be remembered as a legendary performer. Rest in peace, Mickey Rooney.